Hey, good afternoon to you. Mark Sutt of HurricaneTrack here. Friday now, August 22nd, 2025. Still coming to you from Rodanthe here on the North Carolina Outer Banks. Wrapping up my Hurricane Erin coverage out here, and it was pretty extraordinary. All the equipment that we have tried, some new things, the 360 technology, everything worked and worked really, really well, and that'll make us even better prepared for when we get a direct hit, which we probably will before all is said and done between now and November. It is still very much hurricane season, thus the topic, the main title today, lots to track in the tropics. So let's get right to it. First, we'll take a little bit of time and sort of recap Erin here and say goodbye. This is some more of that 360 video. This is yesterday from the Rodanthe Pier, and I worked with my friend Brad out here. Attached the camera to right there, that little wood thing, just like that one. I was at a 2x4, clamped it down, and let her rip. And boy, the Atlantic was ripping. This is yesterday's high tide in the evening time. Pretty amazing stuff what we can do with this. I cannot wait to do it in a really significant landfall, because it'll really help us to see. I mean, imagine, and this is really the power of it. What I want to be able to do with this is show people what happens when we get surge coming in, and we're just going to wait for an incoming wave here, and I can prove my point. Normally, we just have one view, something like that, when I set up one of our regular cameras. This is the view that we would have, okay? When you get a big wave coming in, and any kind of surge situation with these 360 cams, you can pan around and see what happens as they go by. I know that sounds obvious, but that could be very, very helpful. You could look up, and you could see some of the understructure of a house or wherever we might put one of these. Very, very useful in seeing everything. You won't miss anything. That's the beauty of these, and the resolution is just incredible, and you can stick them anywhere. And yes, we even know how to make these things run for about 12 hours. Yeah, we just can't do it live yet. The technology is not there, and affordable and portable, but you better believe it. Once that does become available and feasible, we will do it live. All right, so one last look there from the VR perspective of Erin, and then let's look at this. This is really, I'm telling you, I think this is going to mean something later on. We use black there to outline it. There is the area of anomalies being carved out. The positive anomalies going bye-bye, being replaced by these negative anomalies here. That is the track, the cold wake left from Erin. And boy, when we look at this again on Monday, and the swath that this will have carved across the Atlantic, a lot of this subtropical warmth through here will be removed, and we're going to have ourselves a pretty favorable setup, I think, in focusing the energy and the upward motion all throughout this region for the rest of the hurricane season. While this continues to manifest itself, we're getting close to La Nina status again, and that could help to reduce the wind shear across this area, especially as we get into later on in September and into October, probably November. I think we've got a lot of hurricane season left in front of us, and we need to stay vigilant, stay on top of it, stay aware. That's what I'm here to help you do. So there's a close-up of that cold wake left from Erin. What a remarkable piece of work from nature. Yes, sometimes it works against us, and that is unfortunate, because otherwise, man, this is a beautiful thing to see, the mechanics of how a heat engine works its thing out there in the Atlantic. So what's happening now? And hence the title here, lots to track. Well, let me show you. We got Erin, and it's going to be moving on out across the North Atlantic. I'll show you that on the modeling in just a few minutes. Really big, powerful ocean storm that this will become in the far North Atlantic coming up. 90L, probably on its way to becoming our next named storm. And when it does, and I'm pretty sure it will, and the Hurricane Center is, of course, as well, the name will be Fernand. F-E-R-N-A-N-D. You drop the D, it's just Fernand. So there you go. This one, the yellow one, no yellows today. The orange one, that's 99L. And this one was left for dead a couple of days in a row from the Hurricane Center. It keeps defying all of that. And now the development area has extended into parts of pretty much the Windward Islands there. So our friends in Barbados, I know we have a lot of people that watch from Trinidad, Barbados, and indeed much of the islands. Appreciate you. It's great to have you tuning in. You got to watch this because at the very least, it will bring squally conditions and a passing gust of, maybe tropical storm conditions. You never know, even if it's not a named system. Bottom line, it's a big weather feature. It's a big tropical wave. It is energized, not dying away. And as they say here, the last sentence, the tropical wave, could reach a slightly more favorable environment late this weekend into early next week as it approaches the Windward Islands. So there you go. We do need to be watching that closely for any impacts, any and all impacts. All right. Here's what it all looks like on the True Color satellite imagery. There's Erin up here in the far North Atlantic. This is Invest Area 90L, smaller system for sure, and it's going to get close enough to Bermuda to warrant some concern for direct impacts. And then there's 99L, kind of ebbing and flowing, from time to time. It's got a lot of dry air around it, so that's impeding it a little bit. But it is tenacious. It has held on ever since it left Africa over here, and it's got a pretty vigorous circulation with it. And in fact, I'm going to go to this, one of my favorite tools, the vorticity signature. You can clearly see it down here at a low latitude, and that's a big clue as well. This is 90L through here, and this is kind of stretched out a little bit. We're going to want to see that bundle more if we are looking for a more organized system. That's what you look for when they are linear like that, and the energy, the vorticity is stretched out, not as concentrated, then they don't tend to be as organized. But old 99L down there, that's coming along pretty good, so we can track this as it moves towards the Windward Islands here, and we will be on top of that over the coming days. And of course, here is the vorticity signature of Erin with the hurricane symbol plastered right on top of it. And outside of that, nothing else to really worry about in the tropics. So several features, lots going on. There is another piece of energy coming off Africa there. So really, 1, 2, 3, 4 little, not Erin. But you get the picture. 4 areas of interest out here to watch for sure in the coming days. So let's look at it from the wide perspective on the GFS this afternoon. I guess we'll use the color blue to highlight everything. So let's watch this, and of course here's Erin out here undergoing extratropical transition as I speak, meaning it's losing its tropical characteristics and the energy is going to spread out over a larger area. Watch that as it gets into the North Atlantic, really starts to take on a cool looking shape. That's pretty awesome right there. Giant wind machine churning up the oceans there in the North Atlantic. Definitely going to be a sight to see, but it won't be tropical in nature. It's just a whole classification thing, science, technical stuff. But that is probably going to be Fernan, right? And that's going to be heading into the vicinity of Bermuda, which is right there. This is hour 54, and it looks like it goes just east of Bermuda on this particular run of this particular model. So we'll have to see. That's pretty close there. Probably going to get a tropical storm watch at some point, I would imagine, as this chugs along. So let's zoom in and look at the Western Atlantic version of the GFS here off the Tidbit site. And we can watch that system there, 90L, right here, getting its act together pretty quickly. This is only 36 hours out, and then it moves around the western periphery of the broken Western Atlantic Ridge. Boy, Erin certainly punched a hole in there. And it gets pretty close, but it's small in size, so that's good. Still could see a tropical storm watch go up, maybe a warning, we'll see. 72 hours, still time for it to be more east or more west. Then, now this is interesting, this is 3 days out. Look at that, 72 hours. That's what I'm talking about. You say, well, that's nothing, man. What's the big deal? That's energy. That's showers, thunderstorms, gusty winds, very heavy rain. And this is where people live. Barbados, right? Trinidad, Tobago, farther to the south and west, and other islands of interest, certainly. And while it might not look much, coming from it now, we're going to have to watch this as it cruises through the Caribbean. And just looking out at day 5, the wave that we're watching would be right in here somewhere. And let's look at the upper level winds around that time and just kind of peek ahead to what is the environment that it would be going into. Overall, not the most hostile, not the best either. And if we move this out just a little bit more to day 7, 168 hours out, yeah, some pretty strong northerly shear coming across here. That's the overall vector, excuse me, on the upper level winds. So we'll see. Some of the models showing it developing, some don't. It's a week out that I'm showing you here. Definitely something to watch, because we're going to be getting closer and closer to more climatologically favored time period, right? Climatology starts to tip in the favor of stuff trying to develop. And it has held on this long. Why stop now? That's kind of one way to look at it. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. Just because it's strong now doesn't mean it's going to hold on later. But it's definitely worth watching. And it is curious that the Hurricane Center extended that formation area just a little bit more to the west. All right? Well, that'll about do it from me for today and from out here on the Outer Banks. Should be getting out of here later today. If not, it'll be sometime tomorrow, maybe around noon or something. A lot of people want to come back out here and enjoy the beautiful Outer Banks, and there was no major damage, so that is good. Very inconvenient for a lot of people, but it could have been far worse. We know that for sure. Have yourselves a great weekend. I'm going to take it off and relax a little bit. I'll be back with you Monday, though, and we'll see what's happening in the tropics when we talk again early Monday.